Hey everybody, welcome back to American English Online. I'm Chris, your American English teacher on YouTube. Memes are an incredible phenomenon, and we have a two-part series for you. In the first part, we're going to talk about what goes into making a meme and how you can identify certain parts to help you learn English. And in part two, we're going to talk about how, as a teacher, you can apply those things into your classroom to help your students. Let's go. There are thousands of memes, maybe millions. So even if I took the most popular ones, it would still be a 2-hour video. So I've chosen a few memes to help show you how you can deduce the meaning and learn English with memes. Let's start with a basic principle, the premise. The most famous memes have a premise and they follow a pattern. And those memes are divided into language-specific memes or open-ended memes. And all that means is that you have language-specific memes where the same language is used all the time in that meme. And then the open-ended ones use any language just to convey an idea. In these examples, we're going to look at the premise first to understand the feeling of the meme. Then we're going to look at some of the specific language, if the meme uses it. And then some of the things that we can explore to learn English. You know this guy, right? This is Morpheus from The Matrix. And in the movie, he gives you a choice between the blue pill and the red pill. And what he's doing is he's giving you a choice to learn something about the nature of things that maybe you didn't know. So the premise of this meme is like a sarcastic observation of something that you should already know or realize, and it's usually based on some annoying habit. The language that we use with this meme is, what if I told you? Take this one for example. What if I told you that you didn't have to eat an entire bag of chips in one sitting? Or, what if I told you that you can eat a meal without posting it to social media? So, in both of these situations, it's like he's a guru and he's telling you something that you should already know. I mean, it's obvious that you don't have to post a meal to social media, but it has become an annoying habit that people do all the time. So with this language, we can use what if I told you to explore possibilities or suggestions. You know, even if you take it out of the context of the meme, in day-to-day use, how do we use what if I told you? The next one is Dos Equis man. Dos Equis is a beer. He's also called the most interesting man in the world. Now the premise of this meme is that even though you don't do something very often, when you do it in an interesting or unexpected way that turns out better, or you fail miserably. But either way, there's a twist. And the specific language that we use with this meme is, I don't always da-na-na-na-na, but when I do, da-na-na-na-na. So here's an example. I don't always use Internet Explorer, but when I do, I download Google Chrome. So that's a funny way of saying that he doesn't always use a bad web browser, but when he does, it's to download a better web browser. Okay? So that's an example of not doing something often, but when you do it in a better or funny way. But you also have an example like, I don't always wait too long to wash clothes, but when I do, I forget to put them in the dryer. In that last example, it says that even though you don't do something often, you still manage to mess it up. So in either case, we can use the language from the meme and even the meanings. So in this case, we can talk about habits, We can also talk about adverbs of frequency, right? Always, I don't always. Or we can talk about auxiliary, do, does, negatives. I don't always, but when I do. So there are lots of ways that you can use the language that you see in this meme. Now let's talk about open-ended memes. And those are just memes that don't have a famous, specific language that always go with it. They can still be hilarious and very beneficial. And they still work with a premise. They just don't have the specific language. Do you remember Dos Equis, man? Well then, there's a meme called PHILOSORAPTOR. It's a raptor, which is a dinosaur, who does philosophy. He philosophizes. Anyway, it's funny. The premise is that the raptor ponders some confusing or overlooked fact, or he points out inconsistencies. Or sometimes he just makes a pun, like a play on words. For example, if the Dos Equis guy doesn't always drink beer, then how can we trust his preference in beers? So you can see how he kind of points out an inconsistency, or sometimes it's just a pun or a play on words, like this one. What happens when you drop soap? Is the floor clean or is the soap dirty? So you can see he's kind of making a joke, philosophizing, like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Or did Adam have a belly button, right? Did Adam have a navel? Because he was the first human. Technically, he wasn't born. Anyway, so you can use this meme to talk about contradictions in beliefs and actions, or just to introduce puns. We could go on forever, but I just want to show you one last meme. The premise of this next one, it's called Success Baby or Success Kid. And the premise is that it shows happiness or pride in an unlikely success, either unlikely or silly. Dad took my nose, got it back. You can see how this might be funny for a kid, right? You play take your nose, oh, I got your nose, right? And so the baby thinks, Dad took my nose, got it back. But you can use this in lots of different situations. For example, late to work, boss was even later. So you can see how it might be considered a success, or maybe just luck. Either way, it's funny. Another thing about this meme is that it's characterized by using few words, just abbreviated sentences. So when you explore this meme, you can use it to talk about the expectation versus the reality, or the success, based on expectations. And you can use it to talk about shortening sentences, speaking in an abbreviated manner, maybe even with internet terminology. And there are tons more. There's sad lady, which has specific language for turns out, and it talks about how something's different from what she thought. There's evil Kermit, who always shows some self-destructive behavior. There's disaster girl, who always has some sort of revenge or evil plot. So if you're a student, then understanding the premise of the meme and also the set language that's always used, the specific language, can help you deduce, right? It can help you understand the rest of the meme. And of course, since you're studying, you want to have a dictionary with you, so you can figure out the rest of the vocabulary. But it's a fun and effective way to study English. So that's it for today. In part 2 of this series, we're going to look at how you as a teacher can apply memes in the classroom to help your students learn in a faster, funner, and easier way. So don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. If you already use memes to study English, tell me how you do it. And as always, let's practice. So let's keep it simple. Again.